live. How are you, brother?
Pretty good in yourself, Aaron?
Good, man. We've been meaning to do this for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast gig here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a buddy lined up, a basketball player, but we've had some difficulty with the scheduling and stuff. So we'll probably do it on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I'm glad to have you. How long have you been doing like this podcast stuff?
I've been podcasting for a long time now. I've been podcasting for about 5 years.
Okay.
And running now.
Yeah.
On and off though, because it's tough for me to work multiple jobs and also like keep on consistently podcasting.
Absolutely.
But also my podcast gig has definitely like morphed over the years. Like I started off doing top 8 lists, and that show used to be called the Top 8 with Nate. And then eventually
you're doing top 8 for like just
anything. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just a fun little gig that I love doing. I love like listing things like top 8 shortest films or top 8 saddest film scenes,
Yeah.
To even how do you say hot pockets, like we tasted
Yeah.
hot pockets and such.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm going to just take this off.
Yeah, go for it.
There you go. It's better.
Right.
At first I couldn't hear, so
Yeah.
yeah, I apologize for that.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start drinking early. So
oh yeah, cheers,
go
man.
for it.
I appreciate this drink here.
For sure.
These are interesting coasters you got here.
Yep. This is a Ballast Point, so it's actually.
That's right, the IPA, right?
They do have IPAs. They have a brewery in San Diego.
That's delicious, by the way.
Jameson.
Yeah.
Of course. I usually do Buffalo Trace, but it's the Christmas season and I'm broke.
Okay.
I spent $200 today
Oh dang,
on
yeah.
like 3 items. So Buffalo Trace is kind of like a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I usually don't really like American whiskey. But Buffalo Trace is like probably the best whiskey I've ever had.
Okay.
That's affordable and I keep up with it. But Ballast Point, I actually started drinking Ballast Point before I was 21.
Okay, there you go.
My roommate now, we were in college and I was like super depressed one night. I was like, dude, can you just buy me some beers, man? I just need to like just drink some beers and talk with somebody.
Yeah.
So we didn't even hang out before that and like prior, but we didn't hang out prior, but like ever since that we started like just drinking. We like became drinking buddies and we became best friends. And then he introduced, because I like where I'm from Hawaii, so everybody in Hawaii drinks Heineken or Corona. Like that's like those are the beers of your
Classic
choice.
sit on the beach drink there.
Yeah. So, he's like, have you ever had an IPA before? I'm like, what the hell's an IPA? He's like, oh, it's an Indian pale ale. And I'm like, no, but I'll try it.
Too bitter for me.
My first
Way
one is
too
actually
bitter.
a Stone. I don't know if you've ever seen
Stone
Stone. It's like the one
IPA.
with like a devil on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm burping.
No, you're good. Let it all out, Aaron.
Right. But so it was a Stone, and Stones are super hoppy. And I was like, dude, what the hell is this shit? It's so nasty.
Yeah.
Like, this is so gross. And so he's like, you just got to get used to it. So I had one, and I was floored. I was drunk already. I was like, dude, these are way stronger than just, like, these Heinekens and Coronas. It's like, dude, like, Heinekens and Coronas are, like, some of the, like, the cheapest and, like, light beers you could possibly get.
I think the place where we work, the Asylum is probably the highest.
Like the double IPA.
Yeah.
I actually had another roommate here prior, and he introduced me to stouts, and the highest percentage beer I've ever had was 18%.
Eesh.
Yeah,
That's
and
too
so
much for me.
Yeah, so we had like these little whiskey glasses, and we like, because they're so strong.
Yeah.
And it was just like a regular 12 oounce bottle.
Was it dark? It was dark.
It was yeah, it's super dark because stouts are like super thick and creamy.
Yeah.
And
chocolatey.
Yeah. So
every time I think of stout, I think of this one time I went to Bevmo, and they had around the time of The Hobbit coming out, Smaug, the dragon from the movie.
The
Smaug stout.
Oh, okay.
That's what they had, and it was just this bottle with his face on it. And I was
was it?
I just want to buy it just so I can, because I'm a big fan of The Hobbit. So
yeah. Are you a big fan of like the Lord of the Rings and stuff?
Oh yeah, I love all those films. Yeah.
Dude. You're a big movie person, right?
Oh yeah. Well, talking about podcasting earlier, how we started it off. I actually wanted to talk about films on podcasts.
Oh yeah.
So I have this longest running podcast on my network. It's called the Big Picture Podcast.
Okay.
So it's one of my favorite shows that I do because I get to share films, whether they're at home or streaming at the theater or anything like that.
Yeah.
I like to rank my films, so I just enjoyed like talking about movies. So that's another reason why I got into like podcasting.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, my ex-girlfriend just didn't watch movies, and I had to show her so many classical movies, like The Warriors.
Yeah.
She didn't see The Warriors. She didn't see. There were so many, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Willow?
Willow. No,
It's one
I
with
haven't.
Warwick Davis. Oh, it's a classic movie. It's actually on Disney Plus now.
Oh, okay.
But I remember you should watch it. It's really good. It's like about all these little people and stuff. And he's like, it kind of like tells like the. Are you familiar with like Bible stories and stuff?
Not too much. Not too much.
Do you know the story of Moses?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so-
one that I do know of.
So they push him like down a basket down a river, and then like people find him, peasants find him.
It's like
and
the
then they raise him
Prince
up.
of Egypt story.
Yeah. So this one is like it's a princess, and she's supposed to be like the chosen one, and then the queen tries to get her killed. And so like Warwick Davis, he's like the main character. His name is Willow,
Mhm.
and he like lives with all these like little people and stuff, like dwarfs. And then they find the baby, and he has to like take it back and like see what he can do with this kid, you know.
Sounds
And
like an intense
defeat-
movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good, really good.
What year did it around roughly?
I can't remember. Let's look it up.
I mean, that's always like a good little thing to know about the year. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a little old. Is it old like when you watch it? Like the
It's actually a pretty like the production of the movie is actually really good for the time.
Mhm.
But it was 1988, so it
88.
was pretty
Okay.
old.
Yeah, pretty old.
What was that like 30 years ago?
Yeah.
A little over 30 years.
Yeah.
So
What are some of your favorite films though? I'm curious. I always ask people. what
I've
their
always
favorite
been a fan of like war movies,
films. Okay.
just because
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
He's my
just
favorite
because
director.
like because I grew up in I come from a military family.
Okay.
So my whole family's like was in the Navy and stuff like that, and just war movies were just so awesome to me growing up because I like to play with guns and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Call
so,
of
like,
Duty.
Yeah, so like Saving Private Ryan's
Oh,
up there for me.
That's a great film.
Black Hawk Down,
Oh yeah.
Fury.
Yep, that's a good one too.
And actually, the one that actually kind of goes under the radar a lot for me, but I like every time I remember, I'm like, damn, that's a freaking good movie. Is Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Andrew
Oh, my-
Garfield is just amazing in
Yeah,
there.
dude.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just like, dude, that movie just makes you want to fucking cry, man.
Yeah, it
You're
does.
just like, dude, this guy is risking it all to save his boys. You know?
When I think of that movie and I think about like some of the days that I complain about the littlest shit,
Mhm.
I think of that movie sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like in the society that we live in sometimes, like, I don't know, like sometimes I don't want to get caught up in thinking like, I got to appreciate today.
Yeah.
You know, I got to just appreciate it. So
Mhm.
I think of that movie sometimes. I think of a lot of movies that kind of like in my everyday life.
Mhm.
That's also because I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie soundtrack?
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. Like someone asked me that recently, and that's when I was like introducing this playlist on Spotify that I made,
Mhm.
and we were listening to it at work, and so he started asking me that, and I at first I juggled a little bit because I like The Dark Knight Rises,
Mhm.
I like The Dark Knight itself. The Place Beyond the Pines has a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen that film.
I
It's with,
haven't. No.
Jake. No, don't say that. Ryan Reynolds. No, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
I get my Ryans mixed up.
Dude, there's so many actors, man. It's like,
There-
I
there's
can't even
tons.
keep up.
I try to keep up. Like I like to be that person that tells people who was in that film or something like
Dude,
that.
my old roommate's just like that. He's like, oh, that's so and so. I'm like, dude, how the hell do you know who this is? Like, for me to remember someone, like they need to be really significant, you know. Like everybody knows who Denzel is, you know.
I love Denzel.
Because like
Training Day.
yeah, so you gotta know, for me, I need something significant for me to remember their names, you know. But he'll just start babbling off names. I'm like, dude, this is a talent of yours, bro. You actually know all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like I love movies, but like I feel like I don't really pay attention to the details as much as a lot of people do.
Oh yeah, I pay attention to every little detail.
Yeah, there's very like small things that are like for certain movies. So Star Wars, I take note of every little bit.
Mhm.
You saw the new Star Wars,
Yeah,
right?
we were talking about it,
Yeah.
and
Everyone at work was talking about it too.
I'm
man.
actually gonna be watching it tonight
Yeah, again.
with my little brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been
I
waiting.
was freaking tossed when I saw it the first time.
Oh
So
yeah,
there was definitely moments where I rememher, and there was definitely moments where I didn't.
well, that's why you gotta watch it again.
Yeah, and like for me, like for the first time watching it, it's for entertainment. For second time, third time, it's like to break it down.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I think you were very off with the lightsaber thing.
Dude, yeah, I was freaking tossed, dude. I was giving my commentary during the movie too, like when I'm not gonna say it, but there were certain scenes where I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
And everyone like started laughing because like they didn't say it out loud, but they were thinking it.
Yeah.
They were thinking the same thing I was. And dude, it was so funny.
Yeah, it was a good movie though overall. Like I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd.
4.5 out of
5.
5?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do a 5-star rating because I do this app. I have this app called Letterboxd,
Okay.
and I log every film that I watch,
Oh, nice.
and I give it
cool.
either out of a 5-star rating and or just like notes that I thought was significant or just my own review. But I'm sometimes very critical on myself, so I don't really write any reviews because a lot of people I follow on there. It's kind of like a Twitter for films. Like
Yeah.
you only talk about films.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like people break it down. Like people even put like vegan warnings at the bottom of their reviews, and
Really?
it just tells people like, okay, careful. There's meat getting slaughtered in this scene and stuff like that.
My God.
Yeah,
Some
it's detailed.
Bunch of pussies on there, huh?
It's just people who really like to be warned. I don't know. I don't mind anything.
Yeah.
I've seen Mandy before, so that's an intense film in itself. I wish I would have been warned with that movie.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I went on. Have you ever seen the Midnight Meat Train?
It sounds familiar.
It has what's his freaking name, man? The guy from
Daniel Craig?
No. The guy from American Sniper. What's his freaking name?
Cooper. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like before he got big.
Okay.
Can't really. I forgot his name. I know who Bradley Cooper is because I'm a big fan of him.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's American Sniper. He's in what's it called?
Silver Linings Playbook.
What's the one where he's with Lady Gaga?
Oh, the
they sing Shallow.
Yeah. I know what you're
What's
talking about. I don't know, but
Damn
I know.
I gotta look
What's
it
the
up
one with the
right now.
Vegas with they go crazy?
The Hangover.
The Hangover. Yeah, that's like a big hit for him too.
Yeah.
Limitless.
Yeah.
He was in Limitless. But Silver Linings Playbook is my favorite.
Stars Born.
A Stars Born. There
Yeah,
you go.
that was a freaking good movie.
I have
dude.
to watch that still.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh, freaking beast!
No, yeah.
Are you a fan of music?
I like music.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of musicals though.
Musicals?
Yeah.
This is actually really good. Just like the acting's really good. I didn't realize how good of an actor Bradley Cooper was
Oh, he's great.
until this movie.
He's amazing. I
I was
love
thinking
him.
about this. He's in the Hangover movies. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Then he's in American Sniper. Kills that role. He actually looks like he built up his body to look like a Navy SEAL.
Of course.
And
He would
it
do
means
that.
it like that movie means a lot to me just because I have one of my best friends, actually one of my mentors growing up back in Hawaii. He's actually a Navy SEAL.
Oh, there you go.
And seeing him in that Bradley Cooper with that beard, he looks exactly like my buddy.
There you
like
go.
exactly like him. I'm like, dude, this is freaky. Like this is kind of scary. You know?
That movie was intense too. Though.
Yeah.
It was very intense to watch.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, he has a funny role, a serious role, and the dude can sing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
What else? What else is there to prove to be a good actor?
No, yeah.
You know?
And I brought up The Place Beyond the Pines earlier with
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. He's actually in that film. And
Bradley Cooper is?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, okay.
He's amazing. He's actually one of my favorites. I would want to do a top 8 actors list, which I think I've done before on my podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why do you do top 8? Why not top 10?
Top 8 with Nate and 8.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it rhymes.
It just it has
Just
my
'cause it
spin.
rhymes.
It has my spin on it. Top 8 Star Wars characters was the first episode I've ever done.
Nice.
That one's in like the 400 listens already. I mean, I don't get that much listens, but
more listens than I do.
well, I mean, look, podcasting. Let me tell you this right now. Podcasting, if you're not consistent,
Yeah.
will not build.
Yeah.
And I sure have a passion for it,
Mm-hmm.
and also radio. I'm also going to school for radio.
Yeah.
Because if I do want a job somewhere, it's going to be within audio and talking with people.
Yeah.
But I know that radio is a little bit more centered around music and
Mhm.
getting that out. But I want to be like an interviewer. I like talking to people. Like
Yeah.
Howard Stern is amazing. I've seen the films that he put out
Mhm.
with his story being told. I'm reading his book right now, Howard Stern Comes Again. I just enjoy having genuine conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired by Charlemagne the God. Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
He's a
Sounds so super super.
I'm sure
familiar.
you've
I've
seen
probably
him.
heard of his
Guy
songs
Code.
before.
Have you seen Guy Code?
No.
Okay. MTV's Guy Code. He was on there with Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
He inspires me every day because he talks a lot about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
but also on The Brilliant Idiots with Andrew Schultz. He's a
Yeah.
comedian. They just talk. They have open discussions, learning every single day. Their motto is they're the brilliant idiots. They're going to be dumb on some things because, they haven't been educated, but it's all about having the discussions to get there,
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I mean, so going back to top 8 with Nate, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Big Picture podcast,
Yeah.
and then I have SK Sports,
Okay.
which is just sports talk. Me and my friend
Yeah.
Adrian, we would talk sports all the time.
What's your favorite sport?
Soccer.
Soccer's your favorite
Yeah.
sport? Probably my least favorite sport.
It's a lot of people's least favorite sport.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you this, straight up.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of any competitive sport in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
I
love sports too.
I'll appreciate any. I love golf.
Yeah.
I would love to play like actual golf one day. Like I want to go
You never
out.
played?
I've never physically played.
Yeah.
I've done like putt and like
that's not
hot
real.
hot shot golf. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
very competitive on that, like the
Yeah.
video game.
You gotta go, man.
I know.
That's what all old American men do, bro.
I want to do that. I want to do that. Sip some Jameson and golf.
I am.
There it is.
There you go.
But yeah, soccer would have to be my first, and it's very tied with football because I'm a big Washington Redskins fan. Like,
Yeah?
die hard. Like
Damn.
I love my team, and like there's like right now there's on Twitter, if you go on Twitter at all, I recommend you don't.
Yeah.
It's like a black abyss. A lot of Redskins fans are very. I doubt their fan base, you know, because like
Yeah.
me, I'm such a positive, optimistic person, and I love like the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
And then I get people always saying like, "Oh, what do you think about the name and the logo?" That gets brought up a lot.
Yeah.
But also we suck, so like a lot of people are like, "Why am I a Redskins fan?" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just here, happy to be the biggest Redskins fan in the whole wide world. I've been following them for so long.
Dude, I hate how like they always like when it's like, oh, why are the Redskins this and that? I'm like, dude, like why do you always have to bring race into everything? You know, like
Yeah.
it's really not that serious. You know, like you guys are making it such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Yeah, I bring up people bring it up to me, you know, like, "Oh, what do you think about the name?" and like, "Do you think they should change it?" And I'm like, you know what? If it'll make people happy, change it.
Yeah.
But just realize like it's got a lot of history in it.
Yeah,
It's-
you ruin the legacy and like the pureness of a sports team when you start changing stuff that was there since the beginning.
Exactly.
You know, like if one day let's say one day the Yankees they change their logo, you're gonna be like, what the hell? You know, like you know how much backlash people would get.
Oh, dude, that's
Like,
the
the
biggest
company
one.
would get for
Oldest,
that?
one of the oldest sports in the world right now.
in history of America.
Yeah. That's changing something, and that's disrespectful to want to change that.
Yeah.
So like, just imagine how all the Redskins fans feel. You know, like, I mean, I will feel cool to have a bunch of Redskins memorabilia. Like, I have tons of things Redskins,
Yeah.
and just to harness that, and then obviously there's going to be a change.
Yeah.
But the
You
Cleveland,
gotta throw it all away.
no, I wouldn't throw it away. I'm the person who doesn't throw away the RG3 jersey. Do you know how many people threw away and burned RG3 jerseys?
I don't know.
A lot. And I still have every single jersey. I
Yeah?
even have a Brandon Banks jersey, a kickoff return and punt specialist who was just one of my favorite players, and no one really liked him. Like, even Redskins fans would be like, "Who?" Yeah, they'll say that. I'm like, it's Brandon Banks. He's MVP for the shit. I forgot. But he's in Canada right now, so he's
Mhm.
playing Canadian football.
Yeah.
And he's been like MVP like once or twice.
Yeah.
I follow him on Instagram. He didn't work out for the Washington Redskins, but he works out for Canadian football.
Yeah.
And he's one of the smallest.
And
he's
still,
like,
and he's still doing the damn thing, I bet, huh?
Yep.
Is he old? He's on the older side?
he's getting there. He's
Yeah.
getting there. He's probably in his 30s,
Yeah.
probably 32. But I love sports. But I could talk about football. I could talk about soccer. I could talk basketball. That's where I hit my rough patch.
Yeah?
Because like I've been a Knicks fan for the past 8-9 years.
Yeah.
I grew up a Laker fan with like Kobe. I watched Kobe.
Shaq.
Yeah, and then I migrated to being a Knicks fan because, let's say, Tracy McGrady is my favorite basketball player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
More than Kobe, more than Jordan.
How so?
I just love Tracy McGrady. Like, I just grew up like always turning on the games, Rockets,
appreciating
Raptors, appreciating him.
Yeah.
He still is. So it goes T-Mac, Kobe, Jordan.
Nice.
The only reason why I put Jordan at 3, and this is just for me because I didn't grow up watching like Jordan like every single game, you know, like
Yeah.
I probably even caught like his Wizard days, you know.
Yeah.
But growing up, I just enjoyed watching T-Mac, and he went from the Rockets to I'm not sure if he went straight to the Knicks, but eventually he ended up on the Knicks. So I just followed him. That's how I adjust to picking basketball. I just follow players, whether it's Kevin Durant because he's a Washington Redskins fan.
Kevin Durant's probably my favorite basketball player ever.
He's great.
Because my favorite team growing up was Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay,
and
Russ.
Yeah, Westbrook, James Harden.
Yep.
And then Durant, and then they also had Ibaka on there.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I freaking get pissed at myself just thinking about like how they couldn't win a ring with those three guys. But
they were young. They were very young.
But they were super freaking good, man.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, you guys couldn't get a freaking ring. Pissed me off. And what's funny though is like when I think about that part of the equation pisses me off.
Yeah.
But now that I look at it now, like if I think about them separately, I don't get mad about it.
Yeah.
Because Westbrook became a freaking beast. Harden became a beast. Durant became a beast. Like they're all just in their individual leaders, and they needed to separate so that they could become what they like the players that they are now.
Yeah.
So that's why like when I see Harden and Westbrook together again, I'm like, oh dude, they're gonna be freaking nasty because one, like they're a lot older now. They're just like more seasoned and they're a lot better.
Yeah.
And
they needed this to mature.
And they can probably work together a little bit more better. So I'm just like, dude, it's cool. It would be sick if Durant went to the Rockets too.
Okay. Now, I like to what I love to do on podcasting is also like throw out scenarios. So just imagine that scenario. Kevin Durant doesn't get along with Kyrie after he comes back from his injury. Bickering back and forth. Yeah. Kyrie is hard to work with. This is what we hear. Yeah, this is what we hear in the league.
Yeah, I don't really follow basketball anymore, so like I don't know all the drama lines that go with it.
I hear it a little bit. Yeah. So imagine KD just going to the Rockets, instant championship team.
Oh, for sure.
Instant.
Bro, there's no one gonna compete with that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, I mean besides the Lakers if they add Kawhi, but I mean Kawhi, I'm a Clippers fan now. So this is what I was trying to tell you. I was a Knicks fan for a long time. Obviously, T-Mac retired after a while. Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony came. I was really hyped for that. Didn't work out as how I wanted it to work out. Everything just went downhill from there. Okay? So then this offseason, I became a Clippers fan. And I want to let everybody know, I didn't become a Clippers fan because Kawhi or PG-13 coming straight to the Clippers. One, I was very proud of the Clippers team that played in the playoffs when they got into the playoffs last year. And Pat Beverly is one of my favorite players because he reminds me of the basketball player that I am. Really feisty, up in your face. I don't care how tall you are. I'm gonna push you back and forth. You know, that's the kind of play style because I'm small, so I have to play a little bit more bigger. So that's how I play, up in your face. So he was main reason, but obviously Kawhi and PG also help out because they're two of my favorite players. Yeah, I was really happy for Kawhi to win the championship last year. So,
yeah, it's actually crazy because let's look it up right now. It's been a while since there's actually been like a solid group of teams that are freaking beasting, and it's crazy. So in the East, you got the Bucks,
number one team right now. They're the number one. They beat the Lakers.
They destroyed the Lakers.
Yeah.
They got the Bucks, Celtics, Heat, Raptors, and the 76ers. If the 76ers in 5th place in the top 5, that division's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
Have you seen Embiid play?
He's
big
ferocious.
man that can shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What about the Mavericks? They're good.
Let's see. Yeah.
The Mavericks are really good. I love Luka Doncic. Porzingis fits in very well.
Well, the Mavericks are on the West, right? Yeah. So the Mavericks are on the are in 5th. Then you got the Clippers, Rockets, Nuggets, and then Lakers.
Clippers.
And the Clippers haven't been good for a while.
Yeah.
So this is their season. I got a few.
Everyone has them winning it, but the Lakers, between the Lakers and the Clippers.
Well, did you see the Clippers versus the Lakers in the beginning of the season and how the Clippers waxed them?
Yeah.
And then we did it without Paul George.
Yep.
So it makes you wonder, like,
with Paul George,
what, like all those guns that they have.
Let's roll out Pat Bev, Lou Williams, Kawhi, PG. Let's do it.
With sports like basketball and football, I was like, dude, there's just way too many players, man.
There is.
And like I watch because I started getting into baseball when I moved to California. Yeah. And everyone's like, why aren't you a Dodgers fan? You're in California. I was like, well, I'm from Hawaii. And when I moved to California, my best friend at the time, he was like, let's watch some Yankee games. And so I started watching Yankee games, and he's like, oh, you should be a Yankees fan. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I became a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
And even in baseball, man, like there's so many people on the rosters, like it gets dicey for me in my memory, man.
Yeah.
I'd say obviously like this show is based off of like MMA, because that's like what I follow the most.
Mm-hmm.
And even in MMA, there's so many people on the roster, and like that's where most of my memory goes to. It's like to that, because like that's the sport that I invest myself in the most.
That's the hardest sport for me, actually. That's like the last sport.
Oh, dude, I love the fight.
Boxing
game,
goes
man.
for sure before it, but
dude, I hate boxing.
It's not that I'm not a pacifist.
Yeah.
I would have to throw down if I needed to.
Yeah.
Because I'm a tough mofo, you know. But I can't stand it. Like especially after the whole McGregor Khabib situation, where if it's not in the ring and it happens outside, that's you're disgracing your sport. Yeah. You're not respecting it. You know, there's rules for a reason. There's a reason you guys fight in the octagon and not outside where you're throwing lousy punches and stuff like that. Pissed me off. And that was when I was doing SK Sports with my good friends Sergio, Anthony, and Chris. We would talk lots of sports, and they would throw in UFC because every time they would be like, oh, what's on the card?
And you have to.
And I have to. Yeah. So I learned a lot, and they were like, all right, Nate, it's your turn to learn a little bit about UFC. Watch this fight. I'm like, sure, I'll watch the Khabib thing. McGregor threw a dolly into a truck, a van. I'll watch it.
It's the drama.
It's the drama. I'll watch it. But if that shit happens again outside of everything, then I'm done. Like, that's it. And what happened? That silly after fight or whatever.
The post fight antics from Khabib.
Exactly. Like that upset me. I'm like,
that definitely put a damper on the sport, just because that's not what martial arts is about. It's definitely about respect. Obviously. Hold on one moment.
There it is. Boom.
Obviously, like Conor does that just because he is the biggest name in MMA, and he got famous off of talking shit and then backing it up by starching guys.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was all an act, you know. And then the Khabib dude, like.
But is it UFC or is it SmackDown versus Raw? They need to figure that out real quick.
It's true, but there's a reason why he's a millionaire now. It's because of the way he promoted himself, and everyone different. Like the new Conor, but not really. He actually just fought off this last card. His name is Kobe Covington, straight asshole. So what he did, this was like 2 years ago. He had a fight in Brazil with this Brazilian dude, right? And before the fight, they told him, "Hey, we're not going to re-sign you because they're not going to re-sign you because you're not a exciting fighter, you're not a character, this and that, win or lose." And this is the guy, and he's fighting a guy that just fought for a title, so this is title contention level right here, and they're not going to re-sign him. And so what he did was
like the antics.
Some people do, and it makes it interesting, because so what he did was he waxed this dude in Brazil, right in front of his hometown. Then he gets on the mic and he goes, "Brazil's a dump. You guys are all filthy animals, this and that, blah, 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 blah." And so everyone started, like, giving him death threats and stuff. And so he created this character. He's actually, like, a really big Trump supporter, too. And you know how, like, that politics with Trump gets super dicey.
It does.
And so he's like, yeah, MAGA this, MAGA that. He wears a Make America Great Again hat. He wears this stupid-looking suit. He, like, carries around this book that one of the Trumps wrote. It's called Triggered. Okay. And, like, dude, the most cringe, like, asshole out there in the game, but he backs it up with his wrestling. Really good wrestler. And so him and the champion at the right now in the welterweight division, the 170 division, they ended up fighting, and he ended up getting knocked out. The guy that was talking shit, the whole MAGA thing, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's what you deserve." Yeah, this and that. But the thing is, like, it was actually a really good fight. So on the scorecards, all the judges had it. They had it 2-1, 2-1, and then they had it 2-1, 2-1, and then 2-2. So on the scorecards, that's a draw, and it came down to the fifth and final round. So he ended up getting knocked out, but it was a terrific card. And the reason why this kid got so big was all the shit talking that he did, And so for some people it works out, for some people it doesn't.
Well, is that your favorite part, the antics, or you like the like tick techniques and like the fighting?
I actually like the matchup because I come from a wrestling background, and I love wrestling and I appreciate it. A lot of people in the MMA world don't, just because they don't understand it, and it does get kind of like boring.
No, I love wrestling.
Yeah.
I actually wrestled in high school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was my freshman year.
So think about this: if a kickboxer goes up against a wrestler, right, and the wrestler takes down the kickboxer, it's gonna be a mauling if the kickboxer doesn't know wrestling.
Yeah,
because what you're gonna do is you're gonna get thrown around the mat for 15 minutes, and that's all the people are gonna see.
Yeah.
So, but these guys were so high level in wrestling that nobody even took a shot. Nobody went for a takedown at all, and it was just on the feet, and it was good striking too. They both knew they were pretty good strikers, and it was really, really close.
There you go.
So that's what I appreciate about the fight. I don't care about the antics, dude. People act the way they do, and whatever. That's something you can't change, but what you can appreciate is how freaking good these guys are, and they're laying it all on the line.
One of my favorite fighters is Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya? Yeah. You follow him?
Oh, well, it's because he was on the Flagrant 2 podcast, so like that's where I first got introduced to him.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, I was like, all right, I don't like too much of UFC, but I gotta support someone.
He's actually the biggest. He's probably like the biggest name in MMA right now.
Yeah,
besides Conor.
He's amazing, right?
Just because there's three aspects to the fight game, right? There's the walkout where you walk. There's the fight. And then there's the post-fight, right? And so what Conor did really well was he had his pre-fights got people on board, just his shit talking, and then
weigh-ins and stuff.
I'm sorry.
During the weigh-ins.
Yeah, he had a little bit of that, so he had a little engagement from the crowd, and then his fighting style was obviously the best, and then what he did outside of the cage on the post got people even more interested.
That was until he ran into Khabib.
Yeah,
he got
but even still, like that whole Khabib thing got him even more press.
True.
So and it's all like they always say that bad publicity is good publicity. And so, so what he did for his title fight, he just fought a few months ago actually in Australia, and he dethroned
McGregor.
Adesanya. So he fought for the 185 belt, and he fought this guy from Australia, the the previous champion Robert Whittaker. And so, on his walkout, he had a choreographed dance with his buddies from back home.
Yeah.
And like, dude, this guy is gonna go into a cage and fight his ass off. But before that, he has a choreographed dance.
That's
with
awesome.
his like a 2-minute dance. So one, he connects with the crowd with the dance, right?
Yeah.
Then he knocks Robert Whittaker out in the, I want to say second round, and he just starches his ass.
Damn.
Then on top of that, he calls out the number one contender after. So those three components, like pre, during, and post fight, killed the whole scene, And so that's how you become a star in the fight game. Is you have to.
Quick,
in
easy,
the
fast.
3 stages of the fight
All
game,
three
you
of
need to
those.
kill it.
Yeah.
And so he's actually been the first one that's actually been able to do that. Conor had a little bit of everything, but not in the way that he did.
Yeah.
Because he engages with the crowd in the best way possible, and he's just loose. He's loose and he's ready to rock, and he does a freaking dance.
Like he knows, he has really good instincts too.
Yeah.
Like he's quick on
Yeah.
reactions.
So he's a natural striker, but he has really good. He's a sprawling brawler. So he has good takedown defense. He doesn't. I think he's been taken down once, maybe, in the UFC. So no one's really been able to like secure him on the ground. So he's an exciting fighter because most exciting fighters are the strikers. In the fight game. And on top of that, like he can dish out disses to whoever tries to diss him. So and then he ended up calling out the next contender, which is what everybody wanted. Nobody. His name is Paulo Costa.
Okay.
So this guy is a jacked dude from Brazil. Freaking, he's crazy huge.
Oh shit.
Probably the biggest middleweight I've ever seen. You'd look at him like that guy does not step on the scale at 185. He's freaking massive.
Interesting.
And so it's gonna be strength versus speed on this one.
I think that speed will probably win.
Probably, but
if it's just
this guy Costa walks through shit like it's nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, this guy is so like, oh man.
You know who's scary?
Who?
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder. Yeah, he's a scary bastard, dude. I'm not really into.
He's my favorite fighter right now.
Yeah.
I'm a big. Okay, so check this out. I'm a big Mayweather fan.
Yeah.
I love Floyd
not.
Mayweather. I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I love Mayweather the boxer.
The
Okay.
boxer.
Anything else that guy says
bum.
or anything else, he's shit. Okay,
Mhm.
I love him for the sport of boxing. I grew up watching Oscar De La Hoya box a lot. I'm not, like I said, I'm not much of a fighter. Like I don't care to see this, but boxing is pretty much on the map for me.
Yeah.
But UFC, I
just-
can't.
I don't like boxing just because I know like how corrupt it is.
That's a
And
big part of it too.
It's
That's-
super corrupt.
Damn.
And if I had to pick a favorite boxer, it would be a Pac-Man, just
Manny.
because growing up in Hawaii, everyone's Filipino, and
Yep.
I'm half Filipino, so that's my countryman right there,
There
baby.
you go.
And so
He's
and
a good guy.
this is actually what I noticed about like the difference between Pacquiao and Mayweather is that Mayweather fights for money. You know, he fights for legacy too,
Yeah.
but all he cares about is money. And Pacquiao doesn't care about money.
He's giving back to the people.
Yeah, he gives back. He gives like most of his money away to his own people. You know.
Isn't he like senator or like?
Yeah, he's like the governor of the Philippines, and he's going for presidency.
Dang.
Yeah, he's
I
a
did not
freaking
know
bad
that.
motherfucker,
Yeah,
bro.
he's great. He's
And
great.
dude, it's just like I'll stand by anybody like that any day. You know.
Of course, you have to.
With someone who just cares about money all the time, it's just like, dude, I can't back you up, man.
Yeah.
All you care about is money and strippers and
the sign
and
that you
partying.
see when you go drive into Vegas.
Yeah,
50 and 0.
yeah,
But look. Like I said, he's my favorite boxer. He's not anything else to me. Like I understand how shite he is outside of boxing, but when it comes to boxing, like for me, it's his play style that a lot of people hate, which is defensive play style. That's how I would box if possible.
yeah. You especially in the fight game, you want to find out the best possible way to not get hit. Just because one, it fucking hurts.
Yeah, it
Two,
does.
you take a lot of damage, and three, like it's like the longevity of your career depends on it. You know, there's.
I don't know how many whacks.
Have you ever seen like the old videos of Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
And when he's talking and he's like slurring his words,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, homeboy is filled with CTE. Like,
Exactly.
he's been hit so many times in the head. It's just like, dude, that's not good for you.
And I don't like that play style where you're left open. Like you have to defend a lot.
Yeah.
Like you have to block punches. You can't just like think that, oh, I'm gonna get punched first so I can get riled up and get the adrenaline more
Yeah.
pumping. No, don't accept any hits.
Yeah.
You win no matter what.
I do realize though that like I do respect someone who's very defensive and plays it safe, but I also admire the guys that when you're losing on the scorecards, you risk it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, if I
Swing
like,
away.
yeah, like you're gonna go for broke and probably get knocked out in the process, but I'm still gonna respect you after because, dude, you want to win.
Yeah.
You know, and growing up, like my coach always told me, it's like, I don't care if you lost by 100 points or 1 point, you lost.
Yeah.
But
A loss is a loss.
but I'll be happy with if win or lose. I'll be happy is if you try and you wrestle your ass off.
Yeah.
And like
How'd you
that's
do in wrestling?
I did all right.
Yeah.
My freshman
All 4 years?
I did 4 years of wrestling.
Just 1.5.
1.5. Yeah, I went the full 4
There you go.
years.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, my freshman year I was 4'11", 165, straight butterball, and
Butterball.
dude, butterball, and
I was like 128.
yeah, dude, I was freaking fat, dude, and my junior and senior year I ended up going to 138, so ended up dropping a few more pounds, but I also got like 9 inches taller, so and I put on some muscle. So my senior year, I had a hard time actually making 138 because I'm 5'8", so I'm not tall, but in that weight class, you're tall.
Yeah.
You know, because there's just kids not that small anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So I was like maybe second or third tallest in that weight division, and before the final the regional tournament, you guys do CIF or whatever over here.
CIF
Right? Yeah.
over here, yeah. Wait, I was just thinking about that. Well, what is it called where you're from?
So in Hawaii, there's different ones. So there's OIA, which is Oahu International Association or
Got it,
whatever.
got it.
I think I can't remember anymore. It's been so long.
California
Then you have the private schools.
Mhm.
They're in their own division.
Okay.
And then you have the outer islands. They're in their own division. And then you have just different divisions. But my division's the biggest because it's all public schools on Oahu, which is the most schools.
Mhm.
So that was our region. That was like our CIF. you know. And then see, I bet there's different ones in
like
in
states and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and so
that.
so it goes OIAs and then it goes state.
Yeah.
So obviously to go to state, you got to place in the regional tournament.
West Covina High School was actually well known for their wrestling.
Yeah, I heard Northview used to whoop ass too.
Northview, yeah, they're pretty good too.
Yeah, my the first podcast I did with my friend Gilbert, he's actually the coach for Northview.
Northview, okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I got into wrestling was because my sister was dating some guy from the wrestling team, and he was like, "Oh, you should come by. Like the workouts are amazing." And I'm like, "All right." So like that's when I got like the thinnest ever, and like I did like a couple tournaments, but I was not that good.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, so I did pretty well. I did pretty well like my senior year. Won some, lost some. I beat some good guys, lost to some good guys, but I was in contention for placing at top 5 in the state. In my head, I was, you know. So there was one more dual meet before the. Actually, sorry. So there was there's the OIA and then there's the Western. So there's a Western tournament, then the regional tournament, then the state tournament, right?
Yeah.
So the week before the Western tournament, it was all the schools on the west side of the island, and so my coach was like, "Hey, you're gonna wrestle?" I'm like, and so I hurt my chest, like something cracked in my chest, and I was like, "Dude, I couldn't." I was like, it hurt so bad, it was hard to breathe. I couldn't train.
Your pec or something?
It was like probably the chest cavity or something.
Oof,
yeah, it hurt so bad, and I couldn't train. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, dude, I was like, coach, like I feel like shit. I don't know if I can do it. And he convinced me. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna wrestle in college?" And I was like, "Probably not." And he was like, "Well, then this is your last shot. Do you wanna go out there and show me your medal, or you wanna just sit on the bench and watch your career go down the drain?"
Damn.
You know, like not giving it a shot. And
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, let's suit up. Give me my singlet." So
The classic.
I ended up wrestling in the Western. I think I took 5th in that one. So I was just really hurt. It was just really hard for me to wrestle. In the regional tournament, I ended up losing my first match. So I had to wrestle my way back up to, like the front. I was on the back side of the bracket. So if you lose the second one, you're out.
Yeah.
So I ended up winning two matches to get back, and I need one more to place in the at the regional to go to state, and ended up wrestling like one of my good buddies that his whole family is there. He ended up he didn't become a state champion until his senior year, but he was a junior at the time, and I was a senior, so. He ended up losing his first match to a really good one of the kids that ended up going to the finals. And so he was on the backside too. So it was either me or him going to state. And he ended up just waxing my ass.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was just super heartbroken, and yeah, it was cool though, just
looking back at it now, you have some feels about it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think about that day every single day of my life, you know. But I'm actually happy for him because he comes from a wrestling family.
He had a lot of supporters.
Yeah. So his brothers are fighters now, and
that's awesome,
dude. I love that family, and like I'm really close to them. Like they're near and dear to me.
That's
so
cool.
He ended up taking the state title the next year after me.
There you go.
Yeah, so good for him. But yeah, like that was the end of my career, and then I still have some problems with my chest sometimes, just like sometimes when I breathe.
Okay.
So it's not fully recovered, but it is what it is.
You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. So.
Definitely. Well, that's cool, man. Like, it seems like wrestling was definitely a big part of your life at one point.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And that's how I got into MMA, because just fighting is really just really deep in our culture. In Hawaii, like everyone loves to fight.
I like fighting. Yeah. I just don't like letting that side of me come out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that guy, right there. You see that second picture?
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker. The camera can't see it now because I'm throwing them off now. But Luke Skywalker, when he really wants to, he'll go off on a bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, so like that's just like the culture I was just around, you know. And so like my good buddy Balin, the one that beat me, he his older brother, his name is Ray. He's actually in a professional fighting league, which is another promotion like outside of the UFC. So there's UFC, Bellator, professional fighting league. Then you have one championship. So he's actually in the finals right now it's a Grand Prix tournament for the welterweight division, and the grand prize is $1 million. So he's fighting next week for that $1 million, and I'm rooting for him, man.
Yeah, cheer for him. Maybe you'll get a cut of that.
I also have another buddy. He actually fights in one championship. Dude, the kid's like 20, 21.
Jeez.
World champion. Yeah, him and his sister are world champions for the one championship. Christian and
awesome.
Angela Lee. Yeah, so
that's cool.
just knowing like I grew up around these people, man, it's cool to see.
Of course.
Yeah. So the youngest brother for that Cooper family, Ray Cooper, his family, the youngest brother, I'm actually close to him because he was closer to my. I saw him going to high school and I wrestled him too. But he just started fighting too, and he's a freaking animal. He's just smashing everybody on the scene.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another, the state champion for my weight class when I was in high school. His name is Braden Akeo. He just had his Bellator debut, and he ended up losing. But
is Bellator right under UFC or just 2 down?
It's all opinionated.
Okay.
You know.
It's
so
whatever, everyone likes to watch it no matter what. Though.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. UFC is obviously king,
Mm-hmm.
just because, and especially in the U.S. because everyone watches UFC. In Asia, one championship is, I think one championship is actually king because it's an Asian promotion,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people watch, and there's a lot more people in Asia than there are in in America.
Definitely.
So, if we're talking about numbers, I don't know. I don't know if the one championship has more views or the UFC.
Ooh.
So I should probably do some research on that, see what it is. It's hard to tell, man. Because I know that UFC is the most popular promotion in MMA.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about Asia, with China, the Philippines, Japan,
It's a lot.
these are all these countries that are just, and they're on that side of the world, so they watch it on their times. A lot of the countries they watch the UFC at like 3 or 4 in the morning because it's
True.
pay-per-view, you know, and they're on the opposite side of the world. For us, it's catered to us.
Yeah, I'm used to that kind of like time change for sports because I watch a lot of soccer, like Newcastle United for England, and that's like at 7, 8 in the morning. Barcelona is at like noon, so I watch Barcelona a lot. So
but
I get
even
that.
that's like not bad, you know. The one in Korea, they just had a fight night in Korea. I stayed up till fucking 2.
Yeah, you gotta stay up.
waiting for the damn card, dude. I'm like, what the
The final,
and
right?
I was like,
The final
these,
card.
yeah, like these, like this is the main card, and it starts at 2:00 in the morning. These dudes, if the people in Korea are watching this shit at 2 in the morning when it's our time,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's crazy to think like, damn, bro, like these guys are insane, man.
Yeah.
Like they're like those are some diehard fans watching at 2 in the morning every single pay-per-view. You know, so it gets me wondering. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be able to, like, I probably wouldn't watch UFC if it was on at 2:00 in the morning all the damn time.
Yeah.
You know, so I only watch one championship when, like, I know someone from back home that's fighting, or Bellator. I only watch those cards when I know, like, or those fights when somebody I know is fighting.
And you mentioned that this podcast, your podcast, is going to be centered around more like UFC talk.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Like a good portion of what we just talked about is just sports, you know, sports and fighting.
That's your that's your little bit your main centered.
Yeah, like
goal.
it's definitely like what I'm most passionate about.
Okay.
And I live my life based off of a lot of things that happen in mixed martial arts.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like my work ethic, like working hard comes from mixed martial arts. You know, just the way you carry yourself and like what you want your legacy to be in life.
Yeah.
You know, like I take all those life lessons from
martial
fighting.
arts. Yeah.
You know. So
what would you say your goal right now is for maybe the podcast or your legacy?
It's funny because my last Motivation Monday, and I gotta do one tonight.
Yeah.
But
Today's
the last
Monday.
one was legacy. I was talking about legacy, and one of the guys from back home, he's a fighter, Max Holloway. He was the champion at 145, and he just lost his title like last week, right? And so during the post press conference, everyone's like, "Hey man, like Max, you lost your title and all, but it doesn't seem like you're very sad that you lost. You know, like what's going through your mind?" And he said, "Dude, it's just a belt. You know, it's just a trophy. It's just a physical thing. It's a piece of leather and metal on it. You know, like
you're right.
He's like, I know I'm the greatest still in the world. He didn't get smashed or anything. He lost by it was a close fight.
Close call.
Yeah. And so he's like, dude, that doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I know I'm the greatest of all time. You know, I proved it to you. He went on like a 14 fight win streak. Like he hasn't lost in like a few years
until that time.
Yeah. And in that weight class.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, dude, like my legacy is to beat anybody and anybody. It doesn't matter what weight class. It's like, if you think they're the best in the world, let me at them so I can beat them, you know?
Yeah.
And so like that's the like he wasn't chasing money, he wasn't chasing belts. He just wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
You know. And it got me thinking. I was like, what do I want my legacy to be in life? You know, and I I don't have a clear cut picture of like what I want to do, just because I'm still young.
Takes time
And
to mold it.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I have my whole life to figure out what I want my legacy to be.
Of course.
But I believe that legacy is doing the right thing all the time.
Yeah.
And as much as you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what builds legacy. And so the reason why he became one of my favorite fighters is he was a good father. He was a respectable fighter. Inside and outside of the ring, he was good on the mic.
Yeah.
You know, like these little bits of his character created his legacy, and it's still going. You know, he's like, dude, I'm not done yet. Yeah, he's like, I'm not done yet. I'm 28 years old. I've got a whole life ahead of me. You know, so like just that motivation money that I put out, I was just telling people, it's like it's okay not to know. You know, like, but just start to think about what you want to leave behind for people to remember you by.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I'm goal oriented at this moment. I have so much things set out for me. Like I know for a fact, like when I first started school, I went into for school for film and television.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a director. I wanted to make films the way I wanted to make them. But easily when I was going to school, I stuck my foot in the door at like, you know, PA gigs.
Yeah.
I worked on a lot of short films.
Yeah.
And then I come to the real quick conclusion that I'm like, I don't want to help people make their films. I want to make my films, you know, with my message and purpose. And then I had a little bit of course change, you know, like I ended up wanting to be a film teacher, but in order to be a film teacher, I needed to become a history teacher so that I can make that my first lesson and then have a backup of video production and teaching film in order to teach like an elementary level or high school level. Yeah. And then that morphed into me realizing after being 5 years into podcasting that I'm born to be here with, whether it's behind a mic or behind a audio interface or a working board recording conversations.
It's funny because it seems like you switch the angles on it now.
Yeah,
like you went from wanting to be like the host of something into just being in the background.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And either way, whether I'm talking or not, or just pressing the buttons. Yeah. My main goal is to make sure that people are having conversations. Yeah. In a world where we live, where it's like social media 24/7, and I bet, like, for me, I can admit I'm not one to. I've digressed from talking to family members, you know, like. Yeah. And I want to be more connected, but in order to have that connection, you have to go back to phone calls, you know, like face-to-face meetings and stuff. But we're just so bombarded with so much, you know, like working, keeping up with jobs. Like I work a job with the county, and I enjoy working with them, but also I need to make more money than that because I want to get ahead. So I'm working at where we're working at, you know, serving tables, and I enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I want to just make sure, like, it's kind of like looking back at the legacy thing. Like at the end of the day, I'm not here for me. Yeah. I'm here for other people. Yeah. I'm here for people who are being born tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to be the voice for them, or someone else's voice for them, so that they can grow up without having to make the mistakes that I've made or my parents have made, or in explained films, like, we all fuck up. Yeah. We all fuck up. So it's like, it's just this constant, like, life progressing, but sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't see whether they can fuck up or not, or go the right path. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a matter of putting out voices, putting out stories, life-learned lessons, so that other people can learn from, you know? Yeah. But that's my main goal. I mean, and this is it. Put a microphone in front of me and I'll speak. Yeah. I just went through a whole semester at Mount San Antonio College, putting out a radio show every Tuesday from 10 to 12. So that was amazing. And just having that feeling of choosing the music and fading it up and putting the mic up and just talking about me or my life, you know, a little bit, to just glance over people's lives, you know? Yeah, absolutely. I had such an amazing semester this semester. And I know I've been through so many semesters, and at first it was kind of wobbly and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Yeah. But radio, podcasting, that's like, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and the reason why, like, I wanted to have you on,
And we've talked about this briefly before, but I was like, hey man, like how would you actually like to do this for my show?
Yeah.
And we can work out the details a little bit later, but
Yeah.
I wanted to have you on here because I like to have connections with people, you know, and it's just like, dude, this is up your avenue. This is like what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and I look up to you because as like a fellow podcaster, you know, like you've been doing this for a while now, and I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just cool to dig into the brain of people you look up to and stuff like that, man.
For me to do podcasts for other people, like that's special for me. Like, you have no idea how bad I feel leaving the Weekly Tea podcast. So on my network. So the way I started it all, like, yeah, sure, I started the Top 8 with Nate podcast, and I've done the Big Picture podcast, and then I eventually morphed my podcast into a network with multiple shows.
Yeah.
So it's called Space Kaiju Podcasts. And the whole Space Kaiju thing is, so you know outer space, first off, and then do you know what a kaiju is?
I don't know.
All right, let me educate you and your listeners real quick. So a kaiju is kind of like Godzilla. He's a kaiju, or all the monsters that he fights.
Okay.
They're these creatures that, you know, are created by whoever creates them, but obviously their main output is these crevices inside of the ocean, and they come out of portals, and you don't know what these kaiju are going to look like. They're just destructive monsters that are crushing New York or crushing Los Angeles. Yeah. And the idea of creating Space Kaiju is that these kaijus, meaning ideas or topics or conversations in my head, they're created from outer space, because outer space is so beautiful. There's so much out there that we don't really know about. So these kaijus, they come from outer space, and that's how I came up with Space Kaiju Productions, Space Kaiju Podcasts. I have a whole website if you guys want to go to it, but it's not spacekaijuproductions.com anymore. It is now the NathanScottShow.com. So I'm morphing everything from a podcast network to just one single show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I realized that, you know, when you want to be a podcaster, you have to be consistent. Yeah. And having a network with multiple shows, it was too much for me. Yeah. And I have to admit,
you probably spread yourself too thin on
way
that one.
Too thin. Yeah. And I wanted to do different shows, different parts of the week, but my work schedule did not allow me to do so. I even had the Weekly Tea, which I brought up just a little while ago, with Delaney and Lauren. And these girls are the most amazing girls. Like, they have a shot at like being a successful podcast. Yeah. They have 16 episodes. They have the profile
and
right ahead of
themselves. How do you know these girls?
I have my good friend Lamar Jones, straight from Pomona. He's around the vicinity.
Wait, Lamar Jones?
Yeah.
Dude, I know Lamar Jones.
You know Lamar?
Dude.
He knows everybody. Oh, my God.
That's fucking hilarious. Big black dude, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I love Lamar Jones.
Dude, he's funny.
He is the most...
You want a refill?
I'm good. Sure? I'm good. Yeah, I'll pass. But he is great. I had originally a podcast.
That's freaking hilarious, dude.
I know he knows everybody. Like, dude. That's the guy where if I go with him somewhere, he's running into someone like, oh, my God.
Dude, yeah, because he... He was at a birthday. There's actually a party at my house. This house right here.
Really?
Yeah, he was there, and I met him. And I don't know if he knew I think he knew my roommate. And so we got freaking trashed that night, dude.
He
were
can
just
do
laughing.
That. He knows
how
to.
We were just laughing the whole night, man.
Actually, you can pour it halfway.
Yeah,
not all the way.
Well, I'll get you some more ice so it doesn't look like there's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Don't have to fill it up all the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was here. Yeah, no, it's so funny because
I haven't seen. That was like the only time I've ever like met him and seen him.
With Lamar, he knows everybody. Okay, I had a vision for Lamar. Okay, he could be honestly the best radio host / podcaster in the history. Yeah. I had a whole show lined up for him and my friend Robert. So I introduced him to Robert probably 2015, 2014, and these guys, they hit it off. Like, if they were to have their own show, I pictured it. And I created the show.
You want
more? That's good. That's good. I created the show called Butting Heads with Lamar and Rob. Rob and Lamar.
Wait, Robert
Smith? You might not know him.
Light skin? Black?
Light skin, black, yeah.
Yeah, I know him too.
You know him too?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
what the heck?
Dude, yeah. Yeah, it was Robert's birthday.
Here?
Yeah. He's light skin?
Yeah.
Skinny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big head.
Yeah, super big head. Kind of sensitive.
I love. Look,
dude, that's.
I started
hilarious.
his podcast.
Robert has a podcast,
and we had to cut it short because our schedules just did not align. Like,
dang,
it sucked. It sucked,
dude. That's small world, dude.
It was Lamar and Robert. They had their podcast set.
That's hilarious.
We did a pilot. I have the only copy of that pilot of all time.
They only did one.
There's only one pilot. I could send it to you so you can listen to it.
Probably not. I got other shit to do.
You're right. But basically, Lamar introduced me to Delaney and Lauren.
Okay.
And I felt really sad the other day because they posted on their we got to the point where they had their own Instagram page for the Weekly Tea, and it's just a show with both of them. I'm the producer. I'm popping in every here and there.
Yeah. Talking
about dating, talking about life, what girls do and stuff like that. Spilling the weekly tea and stuff like that. They have a great show. They posted the other day a video, and I'm sure they were drinking a little bit, and they were like, they were just apologizing to their listeners because like
they were drunk.
Yeah, and we hadn't like talked to them. I haven't like done a show with them in forever.
Yeah.
And our schedules just haven't linked up. Like I've been working a lot, and it just makes me sad because if I can just make consistent money with producing podcasts, that's like the only thing that would make me really happy. I would leave where we work right now. I would.
Oh, for sure.
I wouldn't leave where I work at my other job because I get benefits from them.
Yeah. You got insurance. And
insurance
stuff.
from that.
Yeah.
So like I'll be cool with that.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy podcasting so much.
Yeah.
And producing their show was an amazing thing, and hopefully they can get picked up. Like for me, it's like I've done enough for them for free.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed like going to their place, going and having those conversations. Like, I didn't mind driving, you know?
Yeah.
Because I knew that eventually it would pick up to be something. But then just like I said, podcast consistency is a must.
Yeah.
If you're not consistent weekly, you won't get any like revenue eventually. I mean, there's Amazon affiliate program, which your listeners give back to you by buying whatever they need from Amazon by clicking through your website.
Yeah.
There's ads and stuff like that, but that's like you got to earn that. You got to get those listens. You got to bring in those clicks. So like I bring up like, you know, you being a podcaster and talking about UFC and fighting and mixed martial arts because, you know, like just to give you some advice, you know, like if you're going to do this, you know, stay consistent as much as you can. And once you get those clicks up, man, it's just a matter of, you know.
It's funny you say that because I like to find consistency in doing this, and obviously like when I have podcasts, they're not going to be as consistent as it should be, just because I don't know as many people as a Joe Rogan, you know, that could have anybody on every single week.
Yeah.
But the one consistency I can do is those Motivation Mondays, and just so it gets me putting out stuff. And it also like helps me to stay consistent with just posting. Yeah. You know?
You want to get content out there.
Exactly.
You want to get your voice out
and there. I also started doing a new segment called My Picks. So for all the UFC pay-per-views, I'm going to try to do it. But for all of them, I'm going to do my picks. So the main card of each pay-per-view, I'm going to like give my picks for who I think is going to win the fight. And then give like just suggestions on how to bet, you know. So and that actually had like a good amount of views because I like a lot of people that follow me do watch like MMA and stuff like that too, or just follow sports in general.
Yeah, and they're supporters of you. Yeah. So
and my dream job, if I could have it, to be commentating fights. I love it, dude.
Okay.
It's funny because
Joe Rogan-esque.
Yeah. So we'll be talking we'll be doing the fight card, and I'm like, dude, he needs a double leg. He needs a double leg to a single, get off the fence, and like literally Joe Rogan or Daniel Cormier or Dominic Cruz, any of those guys would be like, dude, like they'll say the exact same thing I just said, just after me. I'm like, dude, I'm a step ahead. Yeah. You know? And my buddy's like, dude, you were made for this shit. I'm like, I know. And so,
well, but yeah, like I could tell you if you're going the podcast route, and your goal would be to be a commentator in UFC. Here's my more advice to you now that I'm getting a bigger picture of AA Ron here. Yeah. Aaron. I always say that at work, don't I? Yeah. AA Ron.
Everyone says it at work.
They do.
Like, does that make you mad? I was like, no. I don't care.
Keep up with the podcasting.
Yeah.
Commentate on talking fighting, talking mixed martial arts. Yeah. Covering a card that happened on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing that, and then also do like record a fight, like somehow record the video, and maybe like
you can't do that through.
You'll get
it's
flagged, right?
copyright, yeah.
Copyright. Okay, so
and it's illegal. So
all right, so that's
you can definitely like.
But commentate over it, like after a fight. Give your instead of a like you do a Monday motivation,
Mm-hmm.
you would do like a week after a weekend. You would just give your commentary.
I was thinking about doing like post fight reviews, because the last one I went 3 for 5 on like the 5 fights.
Yeah,
which isn't bad. It should have been 4 for 5, but whatever. But those are pretty good guesses, man.
Yeah.
There was stuff where I was really wrong on, but like it's cool to talk about. You know?
Of course.
Like
the last passion
fight, the last fight, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a grappling match. They're gonna nullify each other, and then it's gonna go to a striking battle. Not a single takedown attempt from either guy. So I'm like, after that, I was like, wow, was I freaking wrong?
Yeah, and then you what you do from there is you say, wow, was I wrong? And then you evaluate and discuss how you were wrong, and maybe like change your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a fight game. Like, what I love about the fight game is like you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If the Patriots go against the Raiders, you know who's gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty set in stone. The Raiders might put
surprise
up
put a fight.
Might put up a fight, but they're still gonna lose.
Of course,
they're not gonna win.
Yeah.
With fighting, like you could be losing on the scorecards. You can be getting your ass kicked for the whole 15-25 minutes, and the last second starch the guy and win the fight.
Yeah.
Like there's always a comeback in fighting. So.
That's what I like about fighting, actually, because there's always like that last second chance,
and there's no like. It never goes stagnant, Like in football, in basketball, it's shoot, score, shoot. In basketball, let's take it back. That's why I stopped watching basketball, actually, because it's shoot, score, shoot, score, shoot, score. And
the reason why I stopped watching basketball is because like the whistle blows every 5 seconds for a foul.
Yeah,
that's not my favorite thing in the whole
world. That's one of them too, and another one is the fact that it's just like, what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
one person's gonna shoot, the other person's gonna shoot, and it's a shoot off till the end.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And it's just like, dude, when you see this forever, it's like, it gets annoying,
That's why you don't like soccer, huh? Because it's back and forth, pass, pass.
And there's no scoring. It's like, dude,
0-0.
1-0, that's the final score. This is gay as hell, But the reason why I like hockey is because it's a contact sport. They're smashing into each other.
I love hockey.
Yeah.
This past birthday, October 26th, I just turned 26. My golden birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I went, thank you. I went to an Ontario Reign game thanks to Lauren from the Weekly Tea podcast. Mm-hmm. We went on a double date, but my date was my future best man cousin. And
that's weird.
No, the way I said it was weird. Yeah. But he's my future best man. He knows who he is. He's been on the podcast network a few times. Chris. But I ended up taking him. We went to an Ontario Reign game versus the Gulls, which is the Ducks AAA team, which is the Ontario Reign is the Kings AAA team.
Yeah.
And so I went with Lauren and her date. So it's just me and my cousin enjoying some brewskis. Hockey is fun to watch.
Oh,
when you're there, it's fun to watch.
Dude, you wanna know my first live hockey game?
Which one?
So it was me and my ex-girlfriend at the my girlfriend at the time, but her best friend's man used to play hockey. He played in Maine.
Ooh.
Really good, actually, and really really cool couple. They're both just dime piece looking kids,
couple,
yeah. And they're just really really nice people. And so we used to double date with them all the time. And for a Christmas gift, like I think 2 years ago actually, they got us the sweet seats.
Yeah.
All you can eat, all you can drink. It was. I'm a Sharks fan. So, but
Aaron,
you're spanking, bro.
We're gonna have to stop this podcast right here, San Jose.
But yeah, it was actually the Knights and the Kings. But it was a free game. Got to wear my Sharks jersey.
Oh, geez.
Staples Center.
At the Staples Center? You know how dangerous that is?
Dude, I don't give a shit, bro.
You obviously didn't give a shit. You're like me when I went to a Redskins-Raider game with my Redskins jersey.
Yep. Hey, you got to ride or die for your team, man.
Always. Okay, I feel you. But
yeah, dude, that was my first ever hockey game live. And, yeah, it was fun. And I was like, damn, how am I ever going to top this?
That was like last season?
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, dude, how am I
When
gonna
the
top this?
nights were
Like, this is
brand
like
new.
all you can eat, like sweet, all you can drink.
Yeah.
And so my second hockey game ever, it was actually my first Sharks game, and it was actually with my buddy that got me into hockey, and he was a Sharks fan. And we just had regular seats, and it was like pretty high up, like some shitty seats. But I got to go to the game for free because he had an extra ticket. I got to bring my roommate, and I was with him. And it was probably the best hockey game I've ever been to.
Fights?
I was like, dude,
was there any fights?
I can't remember. I was pretty fucking drunk.
I have a video of a fight on my on my phone.
There probably was, but the Sharks ended up waxing the Kings, so it was a good day.
You would throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, what's wrong with you? That's like I don't like the Ducks. I don't like San Jose. I don't care. My second team to root for is the Blackhawks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
or no.
funny.
Yeah.
And a rough year for the Kings, huh? Rough 2 years.
Yeah, it's all right. We still have a Stanley Cup behind us in the past,
That's
8
true.
years.
Yeah.
So I'm
In
not.
the decade, you're still good.
Yeah, in the decade. Yeah.
We're still chasing our first. So,
And
we are a young team. So,
and Yankees, you're full on Yankees.
oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
just because you live in LA doesn't mean you're.
Oh, dude, I hate Dodgers
Okay,
fans.
all right. Well, my mom would love you because she is also a Yankee fan.
Oh, that's funny.
She used to tell me that Derek Jeter was my dad. I actually have a Derek Jeter rookie card that is very precious to me. So I
That's
like Derek Jeter.
Dude, Jeter's the best shortstop that ever lived, bro.
One of.
Yeah. It's debatable, but for me,
I had the Jordan Jeter shoes back
Yeah.
in the day, so I rocked those.
that's funny.
But I have his rookie's card. My mom is a big Yankee fan, but me personally, I grew up an A's fan
Ooh,
because
I actually like the A's
I love the A's.
because they're a poor team and they still manage to
Let's play by the numbers,
Yeah,
people.
like dude, like
Yeah.
have you seen Moneyball?
Moneyball, yeah.
Dude,
Brad Pitt.
And then
Jonah
I was
Hill.
like, dude, like I started liking the A's after that just because like, dude, a poor team that's still making it to the playoffs, I fucking love
They
it.
find the players
They
that can support them. So
They underdog the shit out of the season,
yeah,
and they
Chris
still make it.
Davis. I have
So
actually.
if they ever win a ring in the near future, I'm rooting for them unless they're going against the Yankees,
Yeah, obviously. I have actually some like content. How do you say memorabilia from the actual film? Like I forgot who brought it. It was like my grandpa's friend from a shop down the street. Like
Yeah.
he knew a guy that worked on the movie, so he gave me like props. So I have like this giant like Oakland Athletics gym bag, like
Yeah.
they used in the movie, like an actual prop set. That's cool. But I grew up an A's fan because when I first played baseball when I was younger, I was on the A's, so I just a big supporter of them. And then eventually, like I started playing for the Angels in AAA, in Little League, in Little League, and I played for the Angels for a long time. Like I got moved up. Really, I was a really good baseball player.
Okay.
And then I quit. I don't even want to share that story. It's not a good story to go over. But growing up, I was an A's fan, but also I eventually, after my mother remarried and my stepdad was introduced to my life, he would take me to a lot of Dodger games.
Yeah.
So I'm an Oakland and a Dodgers fan.
Ooh, it's kind of dicey, buddy.
It's dicey, but like I'm still looking for that online, like that jersey that splits right in the middle, or the hat that splits right in the middle for both teams. Like you've
the
seen
Oakland, the Raiders and Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
So like
Yeah.
I want like a Hollywood, like how do you say, athletic land? No, Dodgers, something mixed. You know how they have the split in half? Like I want something like that.
Yeah.
But I have an A's jersey. I have a ton of Dodger jerseys, but a ton of bobbleheads. Like I've been to so many bobblehead nights at Dodger Stadium. It's engraved in me. I have both teams.
Yeah.
So this year they were both in the postseason. So I was rooting for both of them. Obviously the A's got knocked out in the wild card. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the
No,
wild card game.
The wild card game. It was one game
against the
Rays.
The Rays, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers, surprisingly, like it's tough being a Dodger fan because
Hey, but props to the Nationals though.
yeah,
Slaying Giants.
to the
Slaying
Nationals,
Giants.
to the
They beat
all Washington except for the Redskins.
Yep.
It's the Nationals won the World Series. What's the hockey team? The Washington.
No, it was the St. Louis Blues that won.
The previous year.
Oh no, it wasn't even them either.
Didn't they win?
Actually, they might have. They actually might have.
Look that up. So I know it was the women's.
Was it 2018?
Yeah, look up the past NHL Stanley Cup winners. So it was the Nationals, and then
See, dude, that's why I need you behind here looking this shit
the
up for me.
producer. Yeah, I got you.
Because I'm like, Well, that's exactly what you should
be doing.
searching up, and
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
What's his name? What's Rogan's guy's name?
Shaw, Brendan Shaw.
No. His producer, Rogan's
Jamie.
Jamie. I'm gonna be your Jamie. that I want to be everybody's Jamie. I want to produce so much podcast, and obviously I have mine too. But if I can make money, working on the other people's podcasts and making them happy, then that's what I plan to do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be taking a class this upcoming semester. It's a podcasting class at Mount San Antonio College. I was iffy about taking it because for me, I know the technical aspect. I know the plugging in the XLR cables, I know the recording process of it. I'm confident on that. I'm confident on the on-air talking. But for me, it's the part where I don't have a lot of success is the advertisement making revenue.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this class and just like, it's my goal to just learn this missing element, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know who the Stanley Cup winner was?
I'm looking at it right now. There's so many years.
But basically it was the Nationals won the World Series, the women's
Washington Capitals. Yeah,
Capitals.
They won the 2018.
2018.
And then this past one was the St. Louis Blues.
Okay. And then also
the previous was Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh's for 2017 and 2016.
Yeah, the back-to-back.
Yeah.
I know the Bruins very very good, right? No, wait, Penguins.
Yeah, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguins.
Yeah.
Anderson Cowan's favorite team.
And then the Kings won in 14, so.
Got it.
And then they won in 2012.
Yeah,
And I think you're talking about the Bruins. Boston Bruins. Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, Bruins are always good too.
But yeah, I mean, Washington is consecutive except for the Washington Redskins, in which I think we secured either the third draft pick or the second draft pick, maybe the third, behind the Giants. The Giants might have the fourth.
Dude, I'm a Giants fan.
You're a Giants fan?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the game this week?
I tried not to.
Dang, I could not miss. It's hard for me to miss a Redskins game. Like
the Redskins and Giants play?
Yeah, they did.
Who won?
It was the Giants. It was 30.
Oh yeah.
It was 35-35. Win overtime. So it was funny.
Eli was throwing.
No, Daniel Jones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's funny because it was Redskins Giants, who are fighting for the third and fourth seed in the draft.
Yeah.
And then the Dolphins Bengals, who are fighting for the first and second, and they went overtime 35-35.
That's insane.
Redskins Giants 35-35. Wow. And then the Giants won the toss. I was watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
I needed Steven Sims Jr. I played him in fantasy football. I needed him just to score a little bit more points. So overtime would have helped me.
Yeah.
But the Giants won the toss, received it, went down the field, scored a touchdown, end of game.
Damn.
So 41-35, New York Giants versus the Washington Redskins. I just love my team so much. I love them.
It's funny because the Yankees are such a good team and they're always going to be good.
Yeah. So you're all New York?
You're
all New York?
No. So for
San Jose?
baseball, Yankees.
Okay.
For hockey, San Jose.
San Jose,
and they're a good team,
San
but they're young,
Francisco-esque
so
area.
they're still good.
Yeah, Golden State.
Then you have for basketball, it's Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
And then for football, it's the Giants. So those are the two teams that were like in New York. But it's not because I love New York.
Yeah.
It's just like I have like my own little story for every single one.
Do you want to know my story for how I became a Redskins fan?
I think you told me, right?
How?
You really love the team, right?
Okay, let me tell you again because it's very significant.
Yeah.
It was 2007. Okay, I was at my grandmother's house. I like telling this story because people like look at me like really weird when I say I'm a Washington Redskins fan. They're like, in California?
Yeah.
And there's surprisingly a lot of Californian Redskins fans.
Yeah.
A lot. There's a bar up in Modesto or something like that that's centered around the Washington Redskins.
That's funny.
So I was at my grandma's house, 2007, playoff time, Seattle Seahawks versus the Washington Redskins. This is like Matt Hasselbeck, I believe, like quarterback for Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
LaRon Landry, Clinton Portis. Redskins are trying to play the Seahawks to make it to the playoffs. And I was like, you know what? I was just chilling there with my little hoodie. I have a picture of where I was sitting and everything. I have it somewhere in my photo books.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I've been a big fan of football ever since I grew up. Loved Madden. I loved playing NFL Street. I was a Patriots fan. I was a Lions fan, a Bengals fan because of the jerseys, but mainly Patriots because I'm a big fan of Michigan and Tom Brady. And my mom was a Patriots fan. Okay. So I didn't have a team. I was just scrambled everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Redskins Seahawks. I'm watching this game. It's on. I'm eating a quesadilla in my grandma's house.
Quesadilla?
Quesadilla. If you're a Mexican, I'll say it like that. And I was like, you know what? Whoever loses this game, I'm going to be a fan for the rest of my life.
It's a stupid way to...
It was! Can you believe it, though? I had the choice of this Washington, Seattle Seahawks or the Washington, D.C. Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
The Seahawks have won a Super Bowl in the past time since I've been alive. The Redskins haven't won a Super Bowl since 1992, 1993 when against the Bills when I was born.
Yeah.
And I didn't really grow up a Washington Redskins fan because I wasn't a football fan.
Yeah.
I was just a football fan of the sport, playing, throwing the football around.
Yeah.
Never a fan of the team. Mm-hmm. And then after 2007, after they lost against the Seahawks, I ended up learning about Sean Taylor, his passing away. I ended up learning about Clint Portis, Santana Moss, everybody from the U. I just indulged myself into everything Washington Redskins, and I just became the biggest fan in the whole wide world. I would say that I'm the biggest Redskins fan in the whole wide world, even though there's people who have tattoos of the Washington Redskins on them, and I don't. Yeah. I would argue that
you don't need a tattoo to be a fan.
I don't. I'm a very optimistic Washington Redskins fan who is very positive and thinks highly of them, and I have so many jerseys. I've been to 4 games in my life: Rams, Redskins, Chargers, Redskins, Raiders, Redskins. And my first ever Redskins game was the year after I became a Redskins fan in the old Dallas Cowboy Stadium before it got knocked down against the Dallas Cowboys. My stepdad, it was a special moment. My stepdad took me because he's a Cowboy fan. Yeah. And just the special moment when the Redskins beat the Cowboys for my birthday. The Redskins beat the Raiders for my birthday. The Redskins beat the Rams for my birthday. I took my little brother to that one. That one was special.
Nice.
And then I took the Redskins to the Chargers, but the Chargers had the best of the Washington Redskins that day. But I also took to my little brother to that one too. So it's just very special. And then
dude, sports really just bring people together, man.
It does. And like me and my brother, like we don't talk that much, and I hope to be a little bit more closer.
Your younger brother?
He's 13 years old. I have 2 brothers, a stepbrother and then my brother from my stepfather with my mother. And it's special because he's a Redskins fan. Yeah. And you know how funny it is to have a Redskins fan, he's kind of stepbrother, but from the same mother. Half brother. Yeah. He grew on me. My stepdad is a Cowboys fan, so imagine the feeling of a Cowboys fan being super sad about his son not being a Redskins fan because of his stepson. That's hilarious. So, like, it's just a special thing, you know? Yeah. I'm so happy. I just got back from Christmas shopping just like you, and I bought him something. I bought him, he's going to be getting ready for high school. Yeah. He's going to be going to Damien. Okay. So he's ready to play.
It's an all-boys school?
All-boys school. Okay. He's ready to play football.
Yeah. Is he bigger than you?
No. He's getting there. Yeah. He's getting there. Yeah. But I'm worried about him. But you know what? It seems like he wants to be a receiver, a running back. Is he tall? He's getting there. He's growing a lot faster than me for sure. I think he'll get a little bit taller than me. But I bought him I went to Dick's. I heard him over talking at a dinner for my sister's birthday recently that he wants the little ladders that you put on the floor and you do a shuffle and stuff like that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get him that. Nice. So I didn't need to get him that gift because we're doing White Elephant this year. Yeah. So I was really like bummed that, you know, like I'm not going to be getting everybody a gift, but I'm going to try to get everybody a gift even though we're doing this White Elephant. Yeah. I got my sister, didn't get him. I want to get him something. I want to show him that I love him, you know. But it's cool that he's a Washington Redskins fan. Like it's special when your little bro or like a family member is supporting you and stuff like that. Yeah. That's awesome. Especially a girlfriend too. Like if your girlfriend just jumps on the bandwagon with your team,
instant love, bro.
Instant love right there. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I'm glad we could do this before the year ends, and
definitely.
I hope you have a Merry Christmas, brother.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
For coming in.
I appreciate you having me on the show.